So first of all, thank you all for joining me in here for this today. I'm going to talk to you about some stats just came out for the first quarter of 2023, and for making videos and for podcasting and for everything else. It's super exciting because adoption is up across the board in every single category. Podcasting stats for first quarter of 2023 and the outlook for this entire year are so far 100 million listeners in the United States. There's only 331.9 million people in the United States at this moment. So that's almost 1 out of 3. All right. So somebody, a full third of your target audience is listening to podcasts. So when we talk about, like in our coaching sessions, we talk about don't leave anything on the table. Don't not do this because, that's the same thing we say with politics. Don't come out and talk about, being in favor of one side or the other, because immediately you cut out 50% of your target audience right there. And if I told you this year you can talk freely about politics and wave your flag high, but you got to give up 50% of your income, I think all of you would go, nah, I'm good. I'll be quiet. So same thing. Don't leave this on the table. A third of your audience, third of your target audience, okay? Secondly, I want to talk about how active they are, which relates to how much you should post and how often you should post. The average listener listens to 9 episodes a week. 9. 50% of that number consumes between 3 and 10. So a little bit less than that, like 4 or 5 a week. 19% of that 100 million consumes more than 11 per week. So what they have done is those people have replaced traditional media with podcasts. So that's just where they go to. Instead of going to Netflix or going to somewhere else, they open their podcast app. And while they're doing stuff at home, they let it play. And they'll consume multiple episodes. 20%, a full 1/5, 11 or more per week, okay? Not saying you have to make that many a week, good Lord. But I'm saying you have to make some every week in order just to keep up and be part of that consumption factor, okay? Lastly, I want to talk about, I get a lot of questions about how long should my podcast be? Does this qualify as a podcast? I did this one, it was 45 seconds. Does it qualify? And I'm like, no. Podcasts that you're going to upload the audio for to platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc., are this, so far, first quarter of 2023, run on average between 20 minutes and 40 minutes. Now, you guys should err on the lower side of that scale because I don't believe any of you have been doing it long enough to become adept at 40-minute conversations about a topic yet. And that will come with time. At some point you will be. You're just not right now. You're all still babies in that world, okay? So err on the side of the lower number there, okay? 20 minutes, 25 minutes right in there, which is going to be surprising because a lot of folks like Bill Hoban thought that he, was within the target number, but all of his come out to 15 to 16 minutes. So they fall even underneath the lowest number on the averages there. So try to shoot for around 20 minutes or so, okay? And if you haven't been using the studio, by all means, get on my calendar and get in there. It sits there open with all the pretty lights on for a lot during the day. And we invested quite a bit in that and want you guys to use it. And it's a free tool to use. I mean, some of you, it's 8 feet from your chair? So it's like literally right there. All right, so just get on my calendar, get in there and use it. And we're getting more and more agents that don't even have to get on my calendar anymore, that just have gotten trained up on it. They know how to do it. They know how to record the audio. They just come ask me, hey, is anybody going to use Podcast Studio in the next 30, 40 minutes? I'm like, no. Okay. And then they go in there, shut the door, and do their thing. One of them even did it on a Saturday because he's trained up and he knows, and he's been given the code to the door. So get in there and use it. because it's a free tool for you guys. Don't leave it just sitting empty like that, especially when these kind of numbers, a third of your target audience is consuming the product that you can create in there. All right, anybody got any questions? Good? Okay, let's get back to work. And